Hello, I'm Craig. That's my brother.
Life is hard, but you can't give up. Let's have a conversation. We're gonna make it today. Weekdays with Craig and Brad.
You know what the best thing about it is that most people didn't actually see that because I got it pulled up over here. Let's see.
Mhm.
Oh, they do. They did. Okay, cool. You had
Oh
to
no,
watch.
what's going on? Oh, hold on.
Okay. Is everything okay?
What a weird start to the show. Okay, so you messed up, you flubbed, then you started playing the credits. Then the credits were echoing in my headphones because I had the actual YouTube link pulled up.
Mhm.
All right.
And now we're here.
Episode 111. Thanks
Right.
for tuning in. We made it, Craig. We're here Sunday, July 18th.
Yeah, we did it. Congratulations. We are professionals. This is our 118th episode of doing what we're doing.
118th.
100.
Good grief. What an awful start. We should just start over. I just said 111. And you
I'm Al Gore.
What a train wreck we have, huh?
Look, it's been a crazy day. Let's just go straight into it. Craig, on this day, July 18th, 1982.
Ooh, okay, 82.
What was the number one song in America?
Ooh, you know what I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with something from a movie, probably soundtrack related. I'm gonna go. You know what I'm gonna go with? I'm gonna go with Kenny Loggins.
Wrong.
Okay.
You want to give another guess?
Nope. No, I do not.
All right. I don't know if we've ever done this one, but we might have. The number one song, everybody, on this day in 1982 was Ebony and Ivory.
Nice.
Live together in perfect. Now, had we taken a little bit more note of this song in 1982, we might be in a better place today as a society.
Who knows?
But instead, we were like, forget that.
Forget your wonderful message of treating everybody equally and nice.
Yeah.
Just
Forget perfect harmony.
Screw you.
I want discord.
That's right. Oh man, I don't even know if you can say Ebony and Ivory anymore. Who
Uh,
knows? Who knows
well,
what you can say?
I like songs like that.
Mhm.
I like nice music.
Yeah.
I like songs with that make you feel good about just humanity.
Mhm.
That song got a lot of flack when it came out.
Really?
It was a big hit, but people sort of mocked it and laughed at it. And look at where we're at now.
Why? Why'd they mock it and laugh at it? Why'd they get mad?
Because it's cheesy. It's cheesy. Ebony and Ivory living together in perfect harmony.
That sounds beautiful. It sounds lovely.
Of
I
course
love
it
everything
does
about that.
now in hindsight after the last couple years, but
No, it sounds wonderful for the last 40 years of my life. That sounds wonderful. I
to
was
a
one when
decent
it was-
person.
Right, that's just true. This is true.
But this wasn't good enough back then, and it's not good enough now. I
never
found a
is.
whole article somebody had written about it, and they picked it apart, and I'm just like, dude, it's a nice song. Like we should be singing it right now.
That's right.
So anyway,
we should all be singing "The Whole World Should Buy a Coke" and singing, holding hands together. Did you see that? Did you see the Coca-Cola ad? Did you see that?
no, I didn't.
Oh, I'll need to show it to you later. I think
Okay.
you really love it. Man, good to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Colors and Gaming joining us. Colorama joined us as well. Lucky Laura, one of the newest investors over on Collaborator Club, wefunder.com/Collaborator Club, which I encourage you guys to go check out right now. Go do it. You can go invest in on the brand new venture. We have just about 6 weeks left. 6 weeks left of investing window to allow you to get in. So if you're going to get in, now's the time to go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Hey, you know what else is good news? I don't think I lost subscribers.
Oh,
this last week after our last show. We debuted the show. So for those of you tuning in for the very first time, this show we did 109 episodes over on Craig's channel.
Yes.
Then we moved it over here to the 5 Times August channel, my channel, to try it out here at episode 110, the last episode. And we were letting you know, like, hey, look, if Craig was losing subscribers, I think it was because of me. But you've gotten all those subscribers back since we moved over here. But I did not lose subscribers on my channel, so I think you guys are liking it.
Look at this.
So
Rob G, brand new newbie. Love that, Rob. Welcome on out.
Fantastic. Bring it on.
And once again, we are streaming over at twitch.tv/stutteringcraig as well. So youtube.com/5timesaugust and twitch.tv/stutteringcraig. Lots to get into tonight. Lots to get into.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, I think it's very important that we get into the YouTube comment of the day. Brother,
That's right.
Brad, what do you have this week?
So, here's the YouTube comment of the day from TK.
It's Travis Keys. You know that.
Travis Keys saying, well, I didn't want to dox somebody online.
Good point.
Okay. TK says, you don't always have to agree with somebody to enjoy watching them. That is what our world needs more of. Civil disagreements. If we cannot talk to each other, we will never understand each other's perspectives. This show, to me, starts a discussion in a civil way. When people demonize others is when there is an issue in mind. I think maybe you could have a few more guests with opposing opinions. He wrote onions. Or not. We should have a few more opposing onions, or not opposing, but different perspectives. Maybe just 5 or 10 minutes of the episode. I think it would be a good thing to show others, yes, this is what this is for, discussions. Other than that, I like the way the show is. Thank you so much, Travis, for commenting. I'm going to award you 52 Craig and Brad points.
Oh, wow. Nice.
52 Craig and Brad points for being YouTube comment of the day. And do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, so I think that's a wonderful thing, and we've talked about doing more and more guests on the show. The reality is that the show is something that we like to do right now. It's something that we don't spend a whole lot of time on throughout the week. Obviously I got a lot going on with Collaborator and streaming and YouTube and stuff, and Brett has a lot going on with his channel and everything else going on in his life. So sitting down and booking guests for 10 to 15 minutes is something that we would love to do. As you've seen previously, we've had Harold on to have different viewpoints. We love differing viewpoints. We love hearing differing viewpoints because nothing gets accomplished if you're in your own echo chamber. We've been very big critics of that, and the idea of people say, well, your show is an echo chamber. Well, no. We encourage everybody to come on, and the thing is, I've actually reached out to several people to come on, and they won't do it. They won't do it. It's not so much other. It's commenters who are snarky, who are upset, who are mad. And they refuse to come on. They don't want. They want to do it on their terms, which their terms is in the comment section and not on the
behind an anonymous name, which kind of goes with the theme of our show tonight. Why are people so weird online?
Right, exactly. Which is going to be a big thing from LA here. It says, I'm new here. Hey, LA, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. I'm Craig. That's my brother Brad. Welcome to Weekdays with Craig and Brad. Speaking of, what I should do? I should do this. Pop this on there. There you go. We do have our names up there. That's good. So we have our YouTube comment of the day. I did want to get into this really quick. This really bothered me, and I was gonna talk about this. Brad and I actually spent the day together because we were at his son's birthday party.
Yeah, we had a little family get together.
It was wonderful. A little family get together, hung out.
Nice day.
I will get to another portion of this in a second, but first, on the way back home, I was feeling a little lethargic. I've been eating less than my normal amount of calories because on the weekends I don't get a chance to work out. So I gotta, don't have as many calories to burn. So I'm a little lethargic right now. So I wanted to get a little caffeine in my system, get a little Diet Dr. Pepper. So I went through McDonald's, the $1 McDonald's drink. It's pretty great, right? And the thing I always ask for with the $1 drink is easy ice, because then you're maximizing your drink potential, right? I think this is a pretty good life hack or tip, if you will. I don't know. Is this a standard? Do you do this as well, or am I alone on this?
What's that?
The life
At-
hack.
of asking for less ice so you get
Yes.
more drink.
Yes.
I don't really get too much drive through. I'm usually in control of the ice at the machine, and I get the right amount for me.
I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been texted by our father that the volume is low for me, so hopefully I popped up a little bit. Thanks, Dad. So, anyways, this let me show you what happened today when I went through the drive-through today, and this is a large Diet Dr. Pepper at McDonald's. That's it. This is how it came. This is how it came out. This is
At that level.
This is a full, large $1 drink.
You got
what's
a
the point of
medium.
asking? What's the point of asking for? This really set me off because I was sitting there and I got it. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
What has happened? Like, what am I doing here? I'm paying $1 for a drink. I went through the drive-through. I got 2 Happy Meals for the kids in the back. Throw them in the back. But I came here for the drink, right? And so here we are. And I got it. I'm just saying, if you're gonna say a large and it's a 20, it says it's gonna be 24 ounces. Don't give me 21 ounces. Give me 24 ounces. You know what I'm
got a medium poured into a large cup is what you got.
saying? Unacceptable, Brad.
That is a sign saying don't go to McDonald's.
It's ridiculous.
I haven't been to McDonald's in well over 5 years, and I specifically remember the last time I had McDonald's because we were at the mall, and it was a packed day at the mall, and I went to McDonald's after not having McDonald's for a really long time before that. Then I was like, I'm not going to get any food here except for French fries. I'm going to try to play it safe. Got French fries and a high C. Terrible
Salt and sugar.
It was a horrible decision, and I felt terrible just from their French fries and the drink. And I'm never going back. I'm done with McDonald's. There's nothing there for me. I can't. Now I'm of the McDonald's generation. That the original Happy Meals, for sure, it made me happy. But as an adult,
You realize there are your ways.
yeah,
For sure. Look, it's not like we certainly don't McDonald's frequently, really ever. Maybe once every few months, But fast food is certainly not something that we eat a whole lot in my family. But it was one of those things where I needed a drink. Kids happen to be hungry. Okay, fine. We'll just.
it's one of those situations.
One of those situations. So, anyways, I saw that. I just like to point that out. I would also like to point out before we get into our main topic tonight. There's actually 2 things. I delivered your son something tonight as a birthday gift. I got your son, your 7-year-old son, something that I would have liked. And I just want to say, I think we won the birthday party, at least the gift from the gift perspective.
Yeah,
We gave your son a plug and play Mega Man. It has Mega Man 1 through 6 video game console on it. So he has all the first Nintendo Mega Mans on it. And the look on your son's face was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right?
Yeah, I've got it on video, and I'm not going to share it here, obviously, but it was definitely the look of, like it was the winning gift for sure. You did good.
It was until he plugged it in and started playing, because what happened was, if anybody knows, in Mega Man is brutal, especially in Mega Man 1. And if you start on Cutsman stage on Mega Man 1, the best thing about it was what happens on Mega Man 1 is you're meted by one of those propeller head guys, and they're programmed to fly over and then down into you, literally just straight into you. And what happened to your son happened to me the first time I played Mega Man. I literally could not beat the first enemy, the first Goomba enemy in Mega Man. And that's what happened to your son tonight. And it was honestly so amazing to see. It was so awesome. And it was like, I can't wait until he kind of, like, when I come back in a few months or whatever, when I see him and he's like, hey, I beat Mega Man, or I go to Mega Man, or I beat Cutman or something. Like, that'll be really, really cool.
Yeah, it'll be cool if I do it. I played a little bit after you left.
Oh, did you?
And it took me a little bit. I got all the way to Cutman, and they were impressed by that. They said, wow, you're really good, Daddy. And so we got there, and then I died, and I was like, I can't do this right now. But yeah, the kids are discovering video games for the first time. I'm trying to ease them into it, not overload them. But Mega Man and Super Mario, cool.
Good stuff. I want to point out that GK resubbed tier 1 over on twitch.tv/Stutter and Craig. Says, why are people so weird online? How deep we gonna go? Because weird goes extremely far online. GK, that is correct. We're not gonna go super deep, but we are gonna go deep because there are some weird people online for sure. So LA says, maybe I landed on the wrong channel. LA, listen, this channel is about I don't know, Brad, you let LA know what
well,
this
if you're
podcast
watching,
is about.
if you're watching on, this podcast, it's just two brothers hanging out talking, and we were one place. We're over here on the 5 Times August channel. Obviously, 5 Times August is my music. That's what I usually post. This is a chance for us to just sort of hang out, chat. You guys post your comments, we'll read them. It's a mixed bag from episode to episode. Sometimes we'll have a subject and it takes us forever to get to it because of banter like this, but it's a mixed bag. We're always talking about whatever. We derail all the time, and it takes us quite a bit of time to get back around to it. So
it's called free-flowing conversations, but we eventually make our way back. Eventually.
Yeah.
If we were on a radio station and we had to do it in 15-minute segments, like we wouldn't derail as much, but we're on the internet. We can take as much time as we want, which is great. So, so yeah, man, there you go. Let's see. So I feel good about that. One other quick hit before we get into the main topic of discussion tonight, which is weird people online, is did you hear that we're now, like, this is such a sign of the times. I just find it so fascinating. We are rebranding Shark Attacks, Brad. They're no longer calling them Shark Attacks. They are calling them Interactions. Shark Advocates. By the way, like, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I don't think the Sharks are going to be as big as advocates for you as you are for the Sharks. I'm just going to
right.
I'm just going to throw
Sharks
that out
are
there.
like, I don't even know you exist, bro.
Right. So we're not calling them Shark Attacks anymore. They want to be called Interactions. And I found that Shark Attack is a lie, says University of Sydney language researcher. What is this? What kind of statement is this? University of Sydney language researcher Christopher Pepineff. I feel like he needs a pipe going. My name is Christopher Pepineff. Who argued that the majority of what people call, quote, attacks are merely nips and minor injuries from smaller sharks. It's like, so now we're really keeping, like, this is what we're keeping mindful of these sharks.
Yeah.
So
this is important stuff.
yes, this is how you know our world has gotten way too comfy when we're arguing about shark attacks versus interactions. So obviously the concern is that the film Jaws really set the Jaws and the shark interaction, the shark world back so far because apparently only 13 people die from shark attacks every year, so they're really not that bad.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to go back and re-edit Jaws and be like, shark interaction, leave him alone, get away from the shark, like stop interacting with him.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Tai says maybe to conserve the species. No, actually, this article doesn't say anything about that. Zero, nothing at all.
No, look, here's the problem with people with. Here's the problem with people. Here's the problem with everybody. No, people online that submit information online for us to read, they're just making stuff up at this point. Like, nobody was thinking about this. Nobody. And it had no effect on sharks. It will have no effect on sharks, on shark interactions or attacks. We're going to talk about it to make fun of it, and we'll all move on and keep calling it shark attacks. Sorry, what was that guy's name? Pepineff?
Yeah.
Pepineff.
Yeah, it was Mr. Whatever. Let me kind of show you this picture real quick, and I just want tell me if this was an interaction or not. Here we go. Surfer Mick Fanning is seen here during a shark encounter at the J Bay Open in 2015. Despite serious shark-induced injury, some surfers have gone along with the attack rebrand.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes.
It's the sharks who are the victims.
That's right, as always, for sure. It's great. So here you go. This is a young man, 22. He prefers a more droll approach to describing a shark encounter that left him with deep leg wounds. I tell people I got a bit of a run-in with a man in a gray suit. Way to go, Alan. Congratulations. You are the winner. But anyway, so this is what we're worried about now. I just want to point that out. This is amazing.
These
stuff.
are the important things. This is how good life is, by the way. The insane things we're focusing on represent how good life really is.
Yes.
Like, we should appreciate that. But the problem is we're focusing so much on these little things that it's just ruining how good life is.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Aiden came in with the $1 direct donation. Thank you, Aiden. Says, shark interactions? This is the most stupidest and ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm still going to call it shark attack, and I don't care if they get offended. Who's going to be offended? The shark?
Who made hey, there's a game we played as kids, Shark Attack.
Yes.
With the shark that would go around. Who made that? Was that a Mattel Hasbro thing?
I don't know. I'll find out right now.
But they're going to have to rename it. Shark Interaction. That sounds great. That sounds super fun. What game do you want to play, kids? Shark Interaction.
Yay. Let's see. Board Game Geek, my favorite website in the world. Board Game Geek delivers a promising score of 4.7 in Shark Attack. The overall rating of 20,000 board games, 20,701, 787th ranked children's game. Here it is right there in all of its glory. Shark Attack as a
quintessential 90s kids board game right there. Yeah, Shark Interaction. Loved it as a kid.
Look at this. Austin wants to know, did the surfer give consent to the shark? Well, here's the problem with that. Did the shark give consent to the surfer to surf in his area? Just saying.
The world is both the sharks and the man's.
Who knows? Who knows, man? I'll tell you, this is what a crazy time we live in. So, anyways, that's just maybe we should start doing a segment of how how comfortable are we type of thing. You know?
Yeah. What was what are we doing? That was a segment we haven't done in a long time.
Yeah, there you go.
That was it right there. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
We're labeling Shark Attacks shark interactions to be considerate of the sharks in the ocean over the idea that people are actually being eaten by sharks. It's
fascinating.
Ridiculous.
Fascinating time. All right, so I'm going to let you take it from here because tonight's show is just simply called "Why Are People So Weird Online?" And this was a topic we talked about today, and I figured I would just kind of let you go with. Oh, but wait, before we do that, I see you have a blurred picture. Do we want to do?
We can do that first. Let's go ahead and get all the fluff out of the way before we dive deep.
Get all of the fluff out of the way. It's time for.
What the heck is that?
All right. So for those of you that tuned in last week, you got to check out the first edition of What the Heck Is That on this channel, a game we like to play on this show where we show you a blurry picture. You get to guess what it is. You comment. There was a lot of good guesses. None of them were right.
Ooh, you're telling me I wasn't right? Because I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that's bad. That's blue suede goo from Clay Fighter.
I'm telling you, you're wrong.
Okay.
Dead wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Now we want to do the reveal right now.
Sure. Invader says Weird Al, Colorama,
All right.
Elvis.
All right.
Antoine thinks Coolio.
Okay. All right. That's fantastic.
A member of BTS from Zen Gamer Max. All right. Nice. Okay. Well, let's see what we got.
I just want to say before I reveal this, we have now officially the very first time anybody in the history of What the Heck Is That has guessed correctly.
What?
That's right.
Wait, you just said nobody guessed it correctly.
I did. But now somebody had just guessed. The answer is Weird Al in Coolio's hair. Oh, there you go, Chad. Getting on it.
Oh, man, nice job, Chad.
And then Invader Invader
Yeah.
said, still saying Weird Al. You got it right there. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. Normally, I choose something pretty bizarre. This was
Mhm.
just a picture of Weird Al with Coolio's hair.
That's still pretty amazing. Way to go, guys.
As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife and realize she's very plain.
But that's just perfect for him. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, we could do it for sure.
We could.
for sure.
Probably the whole
All
thing.
right. So speaking of weird, why are people so weird online? Now, we discussed this last week. I was supposed to quit social media on July 4th. I decided to stay. I had some good conversations with people. People said, don't be less places right now. Be more places. You're speaking out. You're saying things. Craig's not a fan of this because it creates chaos.
I still think this is a horrible decision. I think that removing from social media is a great thing, and it only makes your life better. I understand Brad's logic, but personally, mentally, physically, I just don't want to deal with all that nonsense.
Yeah. So we were discussing this today. One of the things that one of the reasons why I feel like I can stay is that as a songwriter, like I pull from experiences in my life. And when I was younger, if I was thinking of like, gosh, I hope to find the perfect girl, you write a song about that. Or I'm going through a breakup, you write a song about that. Well, I'm married now with kids. And the last project I did over the last 3 years was kids music. I made a kids album with my family, and I brought my kids in on the recordings and everything, and really proud of it. And this year, I'm kind of getting back to acoustic songwriter, folky protest music, and pulling from what's happening in the world. But that is to say, my life is good. I'm satisfied with what's happening. I have a good relationship with my wife. I love my kids. Good things are happening. There's not much drama to feed the art, you see. And so having these interactions online, having social media interactions, I don't let them really get to me, other than the idea of I get to analyze them and sort of play with them in my mind and channel them into my music. And so that's what I sort of like about it. That's one of the justifications for why I'm still here. It's kind of an interesting mind exercise for me as a writer. So I had a lot of interactions this last week with some insane people. I mean, if I mentioned this last week, if you're trolling me and you strike my fancy, I will start playing a game with you called "You Started It, Now You Have to Block Me." And it's a fun game to play. Some people like to play apps on their phone. They like to play video games. When I've got a spare moment, when I want to entertain myself, it's like people watching, right? You just start having banter back and forth. And I did this with a few people over the course of the last week. And it's interesting, but there were some scary moments this week, which kind of threw me off a little bit, because I'm like, who are these people? Why are you so weird? And why are so many people online weird? So we'll talk about that a little bit.
So one of the things that in our discussion today prior to this was I was telling Brad, I was like, look, 99.999% of people are pretty normal online. It's the 0.001% that you need to worry about, And I've told the story about my interactions with a lady with a young girl who was catfished. When I was first starting my career online, she was catfished by someone who was acting as me, and that was like a really big, eye opener for me. To like, whoa, there's a lot of really messed up people out there, and just the idea that, number one, why would you do that to somebody else, and number two, why would you imitate me, right? So for me, like, being not on social media is a wonderful thing. So, but people do say weird things, like, especially if you don't, especially in today's political climate, right?
Yeah.
Like, for me, once again, I don't really care how people think. My extremely hot take is, I don't care how you think, just don't tell me how I should think. Apparently, that's a very hot take nowadays.
Ridiculous, hateful, even.
That's a very hateful take. Now, obviously, Brad, you lean more into, you're a little more outspoken online, and that's cool, That's totally fine.
Well,
But obviously,
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I wasn't always that way. I've sort of sat and behaved and let everybody be everybody, and that's fine. And just sort of, oh, they're saying that and they're saying that. And being in the music industry, you do that quite a bit because there's so many different, most of the music industry is very, liberal-minded people. And I seem to be, over the years, admittedly, more of a center-right kind of person. But all of my idols growing up, all my influences were very liberal people. Some of them were even, if I really looked at their personal life, very bad influences. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I'm very, some might call that tolerant, where I could say, like, look, I like this person because of A, B, and C, but I don't hate them because of, the things that are, D, E, and F. But we seem to do that nowadays, right? We go, well, I know A, B, C, D, E, F, and G are all great things about you. But when you get to H, I cannot put up with that anymore. You are the worst person I've ever met in my life. You are Satan. And I hope you burn in hell. And it just jumps there. It leaps over all of any goodness that you could ever hope to express to people.
Sure. Well, do you want to give any examples?
So I had the first thing that happened this week that kind of was weird, and I'm going to talk about it on the show because this is weird to say, but in case anything ever happens, I need everybody who watches the show to know that this encounter happened. So the name of my band is 5 Times August. Most of you know that by now. This account was created, and you know what? They might be watching the show right now. This account was created July 2021. And this is an account called 6 Times August. So you've got 5 Times August me. Then you've got 6 Times August. Now, this person has not put their name, their photo, any information. They just created. They have 0 followers. They're not following anybody. But do you know who they're interacting with? Me.
Well, you, of course.
Only me. So all of their interactions are me. Now, I have talked to them. If you're watching this show right now, buddy, dude, what are you doing with your time? So they created an account basically just to tell me I'm a crappy person, terrible musician, crappy person, whatever. Time to create 7 Times August, right? Yeah. But I'm having this back and forth, and I'm like, what kind of person are you? Like, that you've got to get online, create an account based on somebody you don't like, to go and comment, just to comment on their post, to respond to them, to hide. Here they come. 7 Times August, 8 Times August, 9 Times August. All the special accounts online. It's beautiful. So yeah, I've had a few interactions with them. And that was the first weird thing, because you're just like, who are you back there? I had to call him a coward because they're basically being just straight up rude to me. And I'm just like, why are you wasting your time with this conversation? I'm a happy, fulfilled person. You're clearly not, and you're upset about it. They're lecturing me about being a decent person. I'm like, hold up. The decent thing to do would not be create an account and stalk somebody, So it's an insane thing that we cross over that barrier. Not we, but some people do.
Do you want to give some examples of what the interactions are? I mean, because I think that open it up a little bit more.
Sure. So they had responded initially. I'll kind of just go down. Let's see. I said, this was just a random tweet. I said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you have the job doesn't make you an expert in the field. And that's just a random thought I have. It's just a thing, just to give you something to think about. It's because sometimes I tweet that. Now, I reported their tweet because I thought this is weird. So they created this account. This first time I'm seeing this account, they say, I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you're a lackluster musician doesn't make you an expert in the field. I respond with, holy crap. You made a whole account and named it after me just to troll this comment? That's pathetic and super creepy. You win Ultimate Weirdo Award. Please don't end up murdering me.
I think that's really the ultimate goal here is that nobody causes physical harm to you, you know?
Right.
Or
Like
your family, you know, or me or anybody.
Yeah. So that's insane to me. They admit creepy. Yeah. Pathetic. Also maybe, but not any more than your smug, overinflated ego. Also, mate, you really need to take off that stupid hat. I'm like, where are we going with this? Right. So I have a little more banter back and forth. I said, want to know who I don't take advice from? Nameless, faceless cowards that create anonymous social media accounts to troll me. That said, I see what's happening here. You are in love with me and mad I'm unavailable and live a happy life. Don't worry. One day it will happen for you. Get some help. And it goes on a little bit more. And, I wanted to just call it out. I thought, you know what? I have a platform. Let's just put this person out there. If you're watching the show right now, they were lecturing me about how I used to be a good person and now I'm not because I'm sharing my opinions more than I was, right? We were talking about how, look, I sat in the middle of the road for a long time. I behaved myself. Now I'm getting a little bit more vocal online about what I think and what I believe with things. And they're just mad that we have a disagreement in a perspective of things. And so they felt the need to go through all of this effort to do something practically insane. And that's where we're at. Why are people so weird online, Craig?
As GK says, what a tolerant person.
That's what you come to find is that the people preaching tolerance are the most intolerant people you will ever meet in your entire life.
Right. It's pretty amazing to see that. Like for me, I've dealt with people like that for a long time. And I think what's been fascinating to me is specifically over on my YouTube channel, right? So I've been telling these stories about Screw Attack and the beginning of it and stuff, and how it got started, and I'll eventually just kind of go through its own little history, right? In like 10 to 12 minutes, stories. New one's going up tomorrow, by the way. Should be fun. But I, with me kind of starting over Screw Attack's history, like Tom was a big part of Screw Attack's first year or so, and so naturally people are like, well, what happened to Handsome Tom? And there's still people who I did a podcast the other day, and this guy asked his audience, he goes, hey, he goes, I'm interviewing Stuttering Craig. What should I ask him? And like this guy goes, ask him what it felt like to stab Handsome Tom in the back. And it's like, first off, that's not what happened. Second, that was 15 years ago when we separated. Like, are you legitimately still holding on to that?
Yeah.
Like if you're holding on, like literally no one involved is holding on to anything from that. Right. So that's definitely a you thing, man. Like you really need to find whatever it is inside your heart and either just get it off your chest. And that's what I've always said. If anybody has an issue with me, please email me, get a hold of me. Just tell me. I would love to talk through it with you, And it's amazing how through conversation, a lot of things can get settled, you can feel a lot better about yourself. And naturally nobody ever takes up on that offer. Very, very, very.
I'll tell you why it is, because when somebody takes the time to post some hate online, like this person or somebody on YouTube comments, and they've got nothing but negativity to say, they craft that message out over an hour. It's 4 sentences, 5 sentences. And they spent so much time crafting each and every word that if they're in a natural conversation, like we have each time we do this show, they wouldn't know how to respond so quickly, And so they
Right.
they couldn't handle it. They have to turn it away. And then they spend 15 minutes more crafting one more sentence to say, "Oh, I'm not coming on to talk to you." But we've invited those people on the show before. It's just crazy.
Well, right. So like this guy, right? Like, so MCOM says, what is weird is having toys on your shelf as a grown-ass man. Then he follows up with lame, toy art, ha 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 ha, right? So MCOM is in here to kind of like do the troll thing, right? Congratulations, you got to mention MCOM. Do you feel better about yourself? I hope you do, right? If you'd like to have an actual conversation, let's have an actual conversation. As a matter of fact, MCOM, I will provide a link for you to come on the show. And if you would like to talk to us right now, you can come on the show. The only rule is you need a mic and a webcam. That's the only rule. But if you want to be critical of us, that's totally fine. Come on and let's talk about it. I would love to offer you a platform. So,
Yeah. Well, let me answer the question. A lot of these toys are toys I had growing up. I just think they're cool. They keep me in touch with being a kid. I have kids. I let my kids play with them. It's a connection. It's a bond thing. When you have a family, you want to be fun and have fun. You play. It's cool stuff to put in the background that tells you a little bit about who I am, what my personality is like. I got records down here. I've got toys in the back. I've got a guitar on the wall. It's all you need to know about me. Hey, he seems like a fun guy.
and at the end of the day, like it's like if you really have a problem with it, what they're, of course they're not even in the chat. They left. They had their chance to say what they wanted to say and get out, right? But if you really have a problem with it, don't watch. Like there are literally 7,000 channels doing podcasts right now on the internet. I'm sure you can find it on numerous different outlets, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can find any platform ever. You can find somebody doing a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Go find someone else.
It's like if you had a bucket full of marbles, thousands of marbles, and you stuck your hand in and you pulled out one that you didn't like, and you looked at it and you just focused all your energy on the one marble that you're like, I got this one. Oh, what should I do?
Insulting it.
Yeah, you stupid marble. And you don't, instead of just moving on and being like, maybe there's another one in here that I do like they just hold on to the marble and they focus on it. There's something ridiculous like that.
That's a really funny analogy to think about. Just like just reaching in there. Stupid marble. Oh, you're going to be all blue and stuff? My favorite color is green. What are you, intolerant of green? Right.
But that wasn't the only thing that happened this week.
Oh.
I had somebody, I posted about our press secretary had made a comment about Facebook this week. And she was talking about how the government is basically the White House. This administration is now helping Facebook flag comments that they deem misinformation. And I had made a comment about it because she was like, I think most Americans are more worried about misinformation online than Big Brother watching over them. And I made a comment. I was like, no, I think that I am more worried about Big Brother watching what I'm doing and deciding they don't like what I'm saying and then removing me from the premises.
I think that really shows how out of touch they are, like legitimately how out of touch just our publicly elected officials are. Like, no, I don't think anybody's really concerned about that because, I think if you were to ask people on the left or you ask people on the right or even in the middle, they're too busy in their echo chambers to worry about this misinformation thing, right? Yes, congratulations. If you listen to Twitter, if you listen to Twitter, they're going to tell you what a horrible person and horrible job you're doing. Sure, listen to Twitter. Twitter is not real life. Twitter is not real life. I hate to break it to you, and it's amazing to see that. But I think that truly shows how out of touch people are.
Yeah. So I had made a comment that was just like, no, press secretary, and that's not what I am more concerned with the government watching what I'm seeing online. And I got so many people disagreeing with that, just eating at my comments that, the big comment was, you're posting this online. It's a public forum. And I'm like, that's your argument. Like the main argument was they've already been watching you. And we all kind of acknowledge, like, we all know we're kind of being tracked and our information's being sold and stuff. But your government literally just told you to your face There's no speculation about it anymore. And it's not that I care what people see online. Clearly, I'm on a public platform where whatever I say, I hit enter, I choose that. That's my responsibility to hit send. I don't care who sees my posts. What I care about is somebody from the government deciding, I don't like what that person is saying. I am going to remove them from the premise in all platforms so they can no longer use their voice. That's what I care about.
You know, I'll say this. I wasn't quite sure how to take the statement of we're working with, or we're flagging post for Facebook, or whatever the exact terminology was.
Yeah. For Facebook.
Okay, so when I heard that, I thought to myself, like, well, maybe they just have like interns or something going on individual accounts, and just you can like flag things on different social medias. Maybe they're just flagging them and it's sending to some sort of a thing, right? I mean, they have some sort of a regular account. I don't know. Maybe that's how it was meant to be said. We have people flagging things, misinformation or something, right? But because they didn't come out and say, and I don't think they could actually say, like, hey, we're actually flagging this stuff and telling Facebook directly, outside of just your standard like point click alert like you did with Twitter and that one guy, right? So I don't know. I mean, and I don't think anybody really knows outside of the people who are truly involved in it. So.
Well, I don't know. What happened though was that as these comments come rolling in, this one person decided to prove their point that they can use my platform to learn about me. So they made a comment with my son's name in it and my wife's name in it. And they're like, I don't think your son Austin, I'm saying it here clearly. I don't think your son Austin would appreciate this post, and your wife Kelly should be monitoring what you post online. And they said it to sort of make their point, but I'm like,
I think they said it to kind of intimidate you,
right? Of course. And so I'm like, it threw me off, because I'm like, what kind of sick dude do you got to be to scroll back through my Twitter to learn something about me, about my family, just to circle all the way back to one comment, just to comment in this disgusting stalkerish way. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I blocked him, but like, it's insane to me that people make the effort to do that. Like, obviously, like, I'll say my son's name or my wife's name here and there, but this person made the effort to go back and find it. And that's the weird part, is the effort that we go through to try and demean each other or intimidate each other online and say these things to kind of go, to say you're wrong, I'm right, instead of having a discussion.
Yeah, right. Well, so like I said, for me, especially in the world of politics and Twitter, like, that's something that is just so grossly, it's gross. It's just gross, right? Social media as a whole, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or wherever it may be, TikTok, it's just something like, you're dealing with the most extreme of extreme people. And most importantly, you're dealing with egos. You're dealing with egos of people. Mm-hmm. That's really all social media is. It's look at me, this is how I am, this is how I think, and this is how you should think. That's really all when it boils down to, right? The idea of connecting people is total nonsense, right? Mm-hmm. So when you say something that doesn't line up with their thoughts or mindset or how they think you should feel, they deem that as a personal attack. And that personal attack means they have to come back at you personally. Mm-hmm. And hence the digging of names. And, and most people have so much of their life on social media now, and a lot of that life is a facade. Every time you see a picture, they're like, hey, and giving thumbs up and look at how much fun I am. And nobody takes pictures of themselves when they're sad and posts them on
TikTokers
Facebook,
do.
Right. Well, sure.
That's a funny thing I want to talk about, actually, real quick, is when somebody makes a sad post, when anybody makes a post, you need to remember they're holding this, right? And they've got this in front of them, right? They're sitting there doing this. Let me get this in shot. Like, this is kind of weird to me that they're making the effort to hold up the mirror and record themselves in this vulnerable moment
Right.
just to share it for more attention. You know, they've got to set it up, get the right angle, or whatever it is, get the right lighting. Like, do you hold back your tears until you get it right? Until, you know, do you work them up just a little bit and then you hit record and then you let it come out? Like, the way that social media is adjusting our emotions for these moments, like, you know, uh I'm sad right now, but I don't want to just be sad right now. I need to document this sadness, and I need to document it the correct way and share it with people in hopes that I get more attention, people that connect with that, right? Um, it's just a weird comfort because we didn't have that growing up. You know,
Oh,
if you're
sure.
sad, you went to your room and you cried about it and you punched a pillow or you screamed in a pillow out of frustration if you're frustrated. And then you got over it and you moved on. But if you're sad, think about that too. It lingers. It goes on, right? Because then you're getting likes and comments. So your
Right.
emotions keep going and
The
going instead of,
dopamine.
yeah.
Right.
So
Well, so Jay Ricknitz comes in, and by the way, thank you for your service, Jay Ricknitz. Appreciate that. I saw your comment earlier, and appreciate the kind message earlier. Said egos of people behind the keyboard. Most of those people would never say those things to other people's faces. Remember that when looking at hate. Seriously. Oh, for sure. Look, we are very aware the keyboard warrior is real, right? And it's funny because Brad, can I tell him about the movie idea I wanted to do that I was talking about doing? How we should just go around
oh
and
yeah, sure.
so I had this idea for a movie, and it's very much inspired by the Jay and Silent Bob first movie. Remember at the end of the film where they go up and they like talk to people and who left messages on message boards. Are you, Metalhead 735? Did you say I want to kick, whatever, and then they just beat the crap out of them. I would love to do a movie that is inspired by that, where you take people's comments online and they say things about you, right? And just like what this person did to you, you can find information about people like that online. You can find where they live, where they're at, like literally almost up to the minute, because people are so busy posting their social media feeds and their selfies and such. I'm out here at the Mexican restaurant. Come find me, whatever. Look, I'm having so much fun drinking my margarita, and it's tagged to the restaurant, right? So they're at the restaurant right then and there. You use that information and you go and you just be like, hey, so you tweeted at me, you said this, and then and then you like bring the other person that they were upset about and be like, here you are, and you kind of put them in a situation where you're like, can you guys talk this out now? Because what's going to happen is they're going to shut down. They're going to be like, number one, they're going to get mad. They're gonna, how dare you call me on my stuff, right? But I think it would be fascinating.
It's like to catch a predator. It's like to catch a troll,
right.
Or something where you come around the corner, you're like, how you doing? Sit down. And then they sit down, like, what's going on here? You're like, well, it says here that, you pick somebody. It says here you wanted to kick Ben Shapiro's butt all the way to the moon. Well, we've got Ben Shapiro here with you. And Ben Shapiro comes around the corner. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm here. Let's talk about this. And then the guy's like, I never said that. What are you talking about? I don't want to kick your butt. Right. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I would love to see a movie like that.
Maybe we'll crowdfund that sometime. Hey, Com says, I feel like most people's attacks online come from personal inadequacies. They're insecure about something in themselves and have to lash out at others. I think there's a huge, I feel like that's definitely a huge part of this. And the idea of social media, like I look at social media. I try to find the positive aspects of it. Like I said, I was on Twitter for 11 years. I still have a Facebook page, right? But I don't post on it. It's a private page. I have no interest in sharing anything with anybody outside of what I do on a day. I mean, look, I'm live 2 hours a day, and then I post videos on top of that. Like anybody wants to know about me, they see in my videos. But with that said, I try to look at social media objectively, right? And I'm like, what is the best thing that's come out of social media? And whenever I talk to people about like, well, I talked about how I got off Twitter, I got off Facebook, and the response has always been, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. I gotta, I gotta post pictures of my dog. My parents see it, or I gotta post pictures of my kids. I gotta let people know. I was like, well, if you really need to share that with them, you can text them a picture. You can do all these other things. Really, it's a selfish thing why you still need your social media. I mean, it really is. It's I need to show other people my life and how great it is. And
that's
it's totally
something.
self-absorbent.
That's something that's happened with my personal Facebook page. Is I stopped sharing pictures of my personal life last year, and I started just posting opinions on things and perspectives and memes and stuff. And I just went that route. And it's like people were like commenting like, remember songwriting? Like they're taking a dig at me. Like this was how now I spend my time, is only talking and looking at these things. And I'm like, this is only one facet of what you're seeing of me. So you've created this image of me based on what you've seen online. But really, like, I'm over here. In real life, I'm hanging out with my kids. I'm not sharing it with you. You don't have to see my lunch. Nobody ever needed to see your lunch. Nobody.
Right.
Like, could you imagine if I always like to put things in the physical aspect because we get so caught up in the convenience of digital. Could you pull up your digital photo library and pick out every picture you would actually want a printed copy of in a book? There's going to be 10 of them, and all the food pictures you would throw in the trash.
I love the idea that if you were to treat social media like you would in real life, right? Let's just say you went since I'm on the Mexican food, tangent with margaritas and stuff. Like, let's just say you went and you were to want to show people your enchiladas you got at lunch, right? Could you imagine walking up to somebody in real life and be like, "Look at these enchiladas," like put the here you go.
You're like, okay, yeah, they look good. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing too, is we share these, like our food, right? Look at this food I made. We're looking for this split moment of somebody somewhere far off in space
Validating you,
going
yes.
like, yeah, that looks cool. Boop.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you want. You want as much of those as you can possibly get. Like, yeah, great enchiladas. I don't know. But yeah, in real life, it's hilarious. I actually put it in the physical form the other day when I was talking to somebody about free speech, and people are defending this Facebook and government partnership, which is it's mind-boggling to me, because I had to put it in this context. Like Facebook, if we didn't have the convenience of Facebook, and we were having these conversations face to face, what do we do on Facebook? We exchange ideas, we talk, we post links from the news. We don't get news from Facebook. We share links through Facebook, right? What would be happening if this was real life is we would be exchanging newspapers, from hand to hand, books from hand to hand. We would, and then you've got this idea of censorship coming in, or warnings, or fact checking. Could you imagine having a conversation? Let's say Facebook is Walmart. It's a building, and you can either go in or stand in the parking lot. You're having a conversation with somebody on this property known as Facebook. But when you walk onto their property, they assign somebody to watch your conversation. Imagine getting out of your car at Walmart and you're like, "Hey, Bob, what are you doing?" And then a guy walks up and he interjects himself into your conversation with Bob.
Like Bob's like, "I'm doing great," and he's like, "I'm sorry, Bob. I'm actually gonna fact check you. You're not doing great."
Yeah,
today."
right. Like he's got a buzzer. And he's like, actually, like, and then he interjects himself, and
This sounds like actually like a really good regular sketch series of if social media was real life.
Right. Or like imagine like He's like, I read this book the other day. You want to borrow it? I think it's really great. And then the guy's like, actually, we don't approve of that book. And every time he tried to hand it to you, he stood in your way, right? Like that's what happens when they block links from being shared, or they're trying to prevent you from sharing things, or they suppress the reach of what you're doing through their algorithms. That's what's happening. But we disguise it because we have this convenient digital world. So we go, well, it's their platform. They can do whatever they want. And it's like, it's not even about that. It's you have somebody interjecting control over what you're saying. So
Calm comes in and says, I heard of police officers responding to calls for drive-by shootings. It would eventually come out that the victim had posted a Snapchat on some social media that they were selling weed and were showing off how much cash they made. A rival or thief would see them and rob them.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the world we're living in now, man. That's the world we're living in.
That's it. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are weird online.
I think that's the goal of tonight's show. Is we just hope you just don't be weird. Like I understand that everybody wants to show everything off, and you want to show off your enchiladas to everybody. I get it. Actually, I don't get it. Don't show everybody your stupid enchiladas. Grow up. How about you be a little more mature and just not show everybody your stupid
I don't want
enchiladas.
to see your enchiladas. They're making me hungry.
Stop showing everybody enchiladas. Stop showing everybody your stupid enchiladas. There you go. Stop showing everybody.
No more enchilada pic. Hashtag no more enchilada pictures.
Stop showing people your enchiladas. That's both literal and a metaphor.
That's
online.
Vulgar, Craig.
I know.
Quit showing people your enchiladas. Yeah, so that's how we do the show. Was this a good show? What a conversation.
Not for me to decide.
Yeah. So obviously we moved the channel, we moved the show from Craig's YouTube channel over to 5 Times August. We mentioned that already. We're still on Craig's Twitch channel. If you're watching from there, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for watching. But if you're new to this show through the 5 Times August channel, let me know in the comments what you think of this show. Let me know if you're digging it so far. And if you want more of this, it's really something different. It's just a conversation, me and my bro talking. Sometimes it's on current topics like this. Other times we'll just talk about, I don't know, we've done movie reviews in the past. We've talked about pop culture. And it's just it's a mixed bag. I love it.
Jiggly Saint knows. Nobody wants to see your enchilada. That's right. Spaz used 100 bits. Says Watch Mojo did a top 10 list of best and worst things about living in the 90s. The number one best and worst thing was no social media. Social media is the biggest double-edged sword ever created. I think people feel that it's a double-edged sword. I think it is very much a single edge. There's not a whole lot of positivity that comes out of social media. There really isn't.
It's like it was cool when we all had phones for the first time that you could take everywhere. But then it's like your contact list was like your close friends and your mom, and it was reasonable. But then the information, it's like with all of our social media, imagine that phone again in physical format. Obviously technology puts it in a small format, but I think of it like this, a Rolodex. Let's put it in a Rolodex. If you had every one of your social media contacts in a Rolodex on a desk, you would have 100 Rolodexes of all these random people you would never be calling. Imagine that. You're like, I got this picture of an enchilada I want to share with Greg. And so you look up Greg and you got, thumb through the G's of Rolodex number 45. And then you're like, all right, Greg's number is, hey, Greg, I just had some enchiladas. Oh, that's cool. All right, I'll talk to you later.
And I'll be sending you a picture.
Yeah. Can I get your address? I want to mail you this picture.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. And I guess that's probably the biggest thing is don't share your enchiladas online.
That's got to be our next shirt.
There you go.
Just put that phrase on a shirt. Don't share your enchiladas.
I'll tell you this, but it's human nature for us to ruin things, and that's clearly what happened with social media. It's been ruined dramatically. While we talk about things that are ruined, I would love for you to take, as we enjoy the algorithm, I would love for you to put in the comments below on youtube.com/5timesaugust. What else has been ruined by humans?
I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Young people today, let me ask you this. How can we party? The earth is so big. Can we party? I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Party.
So there you go. Make sure you guys get in the comments and let everybody know. Fun show. I feel like we discussed a lot. Everything from shark attacks, Mega
Man. We getting ripped off at McDonald's.
Absolutely.
Social media stalkers. Media censorship. This show had everything.
Really, I mean, truly, it's everything that you could potentially want in a podcast.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you come back next week.
That's right. If you guys got anything else you want to do, let us know in the comments what we should talk about from show to show. Maybe it could be the YouTube comment of the day. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I should plug this real quick.
Yes,
I got
please.
a new single coming out next week. This Friday. Not next week. This Friday. I Will Not Be Leaving Quietly is the name of it. We'll have a brand new video. I'm looking forward to it. Just want to let you know that it's coming your way. New music from 5
How
Times
exciting.
August.
And of course, if you're interested in my new venture, you can head over to wefunder.com/collaborator club and get more information about exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and how it's going to change the world from a connection standpoint and collaboration standpoint for creators online. Looking forward to doing that. Let's get on that, guys. You got anything else?
That's it. We'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.
Life is hard, but you can